Joyguru, Joyguru, Joyguru. First of all, my heartiest Joyguru Pranam on the lotus feet of Sri Sri Thakur and Jagat Janani Matara. My heartiest Joyguru Pranam to the one and only representative of Sri Sri Thakur, Mahanta Maharaj. My Joyguru Pranam from the bottom of my heart to all the Sadhu Santhas. My Joyguru Pranam to all the hard-working and efficient trustee member. And lastly, my heartiest Joyguru Pranam to one and all present over here. Today, as I stand on this wonderful stage, I feel immensely blessed to get this opportunity to speak a few lines about Sri Sri Thakur's philosophies and teachings. Today, I'll be speaking a few lines about the philosophy of Sri Sri Thakur, in which I'll be discussing 5 main philosophies. Those are Avatar and Sadguru, Sadguru, Jagat Guru and God, order of spiritual attainments, reconciliation of monastic and dualistic paths, and Jnana Chakra. Now, what is the philosophy of Avatar and Sadguru? Nigamananda Paramahansa Dev never admitted that he was a God incarnate or an avatar, although many of his followers fancied him as one. He explained that an avatar is an exclusive descent of God who had descended onto the earth to destroy the demonic forces and to uphold the spiritual order. He explained that although an avatar does not enlighten or guide people. He wanted to be recognized as a Sadguru or the perfect spiritual master who had attained his knowledge over a succession of births and deaths. Scriptural evidence shows us that Gautam himself had to pass through a number of cycles of births and deaths before realizing the truth and becoming the Buddha. Now, let's move on to the philosophy of Sadguru, Jagat Guru and God. Nigamananda Paramahansa Dev always said that every disciple should take his guru to be the Jagat Guru or the master of this world, as it is instructed by Sri Krishna too in the Bhagavad Gita. Patanjali's aphorism explains this idea by the most famous saying that by contemplating on the form of one who has no materialistic attachments, concentration of mind is achieved. Nigamananda Paramahansa Dev suggested his disciples to meditate on his physical form so that all the admirable qualities and attributes in him would be automatically transferred into their beings and would fashion their souls. Further, he assured them just because he had, by employing 3 main modes of spiritual practice, that is Paramatma, Brahma and Bhagwan, they will be able to get such an experience that he himself has said that it is his only wish and he would love to wait for that day to see his wish fulfilled. Now, what is the philosophy of reconciliation of monastic and dualistic pursuits? Well, before understanding the philosophy of this philosophy, we must understand that what is the philosophy of order of spiritual attainments. According to Nigamananda Paramahansa Dev, the theory of self-realization requires expanding the individual self to the supreme universal self that can be only achieved by the most competent among the aspirants, those are the sannyasis, by the process of deep analysis and deep meditation. The aspirants are going to feel very much bliss due to the growing love between them and the Guru over the course of time after they have had the monastic realization of the Supreme as declared by Lord Krishna himself in the Bhagavad Gita. Now, as we have understood that what is the philosophy of the order of spiritual attainments, now we can understand that what is the philosophy of reconciliation of monastic and dualistic pursuits. Unlike many saints who preached a number of doctrines for the realization of God and realization of self, Nigamananda suggested that the realization of oneness of individual self and the supreme universal self should be the one and the true and the highest goal of the human life. For many aspirants, this path is one to achieve their Sadguru or the perfect spiritual master who initiates them, rendering their personal service to him and invoking his grace through prayers, chanting and simple meditation are the chief modes of spiritual practice for them. Nigamananda Paramahansa Dev has said that although everyone can achieve this success, but the true divine ecstasy and love can only be experienced by the most fortunate ones after they have achieved the monastic and dualistic form of the attained of the God. Now, to understand the philosophy of the Jnana Chakra, we must understand the philosophies of the order of spiritual attainments and the reconciliation of the monastic and dualistic pursuits. Now, as we have understood both of them, now we can understand that what is the philosophy of the Jnana Chakra. According to Nigamananda, although the monastic Vedanta philosophy treats the supreme reality in terms of oneness with the individual self and the supreme universal self, it does not necessarily explain the materialistic creation as explained by the Samkhya philosophy. This latter does not treat the supreme reality as well. In the Sanatani religion, there are many philosophies like the Purva Mimamsa, which provide a lot of information about rituals that can help us to attain happiness at a personal and a collective level despite the cycles of birth and death. The Jnana Chakra chart or the spheres of spiritual cosmology chart that is represented in a pictorial form by Sri Sri Thakur Nigamananda, he has researched that there are multiple layers of consciousness interwoven inside our microcosm, that is our body, and the macrocosm, that is the universe. And he has also researched the numbers of layers of the microcosm and the macrocosm that can be ultimately achieved by the aspirants. In the Jnana Chakra chart, which is represented in a pictorial form by Sri Sri Thakur Nigamananda, he has put Sri Krishna and Sri Radhe, whom he represented as Guru and Yogamaya, in the transition between the Nirguna or the non-qualified Brahma and the Saguna or the qualified Brahma, which he calls Nitya Loko or Bhava Loka. Yogamaya is a form of divine power which insistently attracts earthbound souls and helps them find their true blissful nature and participate in the divine play. This is all I wanted to say. Joyguru and have a nice day ahead.